マロン。
マロンだ。次間違えたら殺すよ。
A meme that is going viral right now is Android 18 seemingly showing anger towards Maron in Dragon Ball Super. And this is shown based on the fact that if you go with the romanization of the name Maron, the 1R variant is based on Krillin's ex-anime-only girlfriend in Maron with 1R, and because of this, it makes sense for Android 18 to have been angered when 17 called his niece and her daughter Maron. But does this tell us more? Well, let's talk about it today. So, let's talk about some in-universe reasons as to how Android 18 would even be aware of Maron in the first place. Well, Krillin's ex Maron was formerly with Krillin, and Krillin could have simply have mentioned her in a conversation with 18, which makes a lot of sense. Next, if you want to go with the anime, which Dragon Ball Super usually ties into more, Android 18 may have actually had an encounter with Krillin's ex Maron if you use all of the potential unused period of time after Cell was actually wiped out, as Krillin's ex was looking for Krillin during the Android arc, and it is not out of the realm of possibility that Maron could have come back to try and see Krillin once again. But I'll explain this further. And last but not least, we have the common fan theory that Krillin named his daughter after his ex, and this has been a meme that's been going around the Dragon Ball community for a while, but I'm gonna debunk this. And shout out to my friend Geekdom101 for making a video talking about why it does not make sense for Krillin to actually base his daughter's name off of his ex-girlfriend for a variety of reasons. So, first of all, Krillin and his ex Maron are based on the Japanese name for chestnut, and you can argue that if by any stretch of imagination that in the universe of Dragon Ball that Krillin would base his daughter's name after his ex, this would be solely anime only, as Krillin's ex did not even exist in the manga. But the realistic approach is that the staff writers simply reused the name pun, and both Krillin's ex and his daughter are characters in reference to Krillin himself, so it would make sense to reuse the name pun for characters in reference to Krillin. To debunk this further, if we go with the anime only, it makes even less sense for Krillin to have named his daughter after his ex strictly because of age. Krillin's daughter Maron was about 3 years old during the Buu saga, and based off a variety of calculations that would take a whole other video to do, we are approximately 7 years into the 10-year time gap, meaning that Krillin's daughter is approximately 10 right now, even though she looks way younger than that. But I say all of this to prove the point that if you go back to the Buu saga, Krillin and 18 must have hooked up at least 4 years before Krillin's daughter Maron was born, and I say all of these numbers and references to prove the point that if Krillin's ex Maron somehow interacted with Krillin and 18 in those 4 years, it would be nearly impossible for me to believe that 18 would allow Krillin to name their child after his ex, unless Krillin in the anime only named his daughter after his ex without telling 18, and later on after his daughter was born, his ex showed up later on, and 18 found out how similar the name was and got angry about it. But there's another way to look at this. Android 18 one night found Krillin and Maron cheating with each other. Nah, I'm just messing, guys. And if you're the strongest woman in the world, there's no way Krillin or Krillin's ex would get out of this alive. But ultimately, guys, I say all of this to point out the fact that the Toei animation staff clearly made an inside joke to Dragon Ball fans, and there's two ways to explain this. The in-universe reason that makes the most sense is that Krillin and 18 both felt that Maron was a good name, and sometime after, Krillin told 18 about his old relationship in the conversation, and after 18 figured out how similar the name was to their daughter, it pissed her off. And knowing Krillin, he wouldn't have based it on his ex, but it would just be a silly coincidence that has to correlate to the fact that there's a manga and anime conflict. But the real world explanation is the simple fact that the staff writers are self-aware of the similarity of the names and all of the jokes that we make about Krillin and Maron, and they simply wanted to tease us. This is also evident that right after, in the same episode, they made an Android 17 joke as 17 called himself 17 years old to obviously continue the whole inside jokes that they were making. But overall, that has been my video for today. I had a ton of fun investigating the mystery of Android 18's anger in this video, and let me know what you think in the comment section below, and what you think makes the most sense. So with everything else said, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.